Say, that ain't right. What if you were ugly? What if you were ugly? Would Mama still love you? Yes, she would.
My name is Deborah Solahub, and I live in High Valley area of Poway. And we have a nice big piece of property where I'm able to do rescue from everything from hens to horses. I grew up pretty much around the world. I was born in upstate New York, and we moved to Ohio, to Indiana, then we moved to Europe, and I went to college in Paris and in Athens, and then we had one too many cold winters and decided we needed a more temperate climate. Ever since I was a kid, I was always the kid who would bring home the little bird that fell out of the nest or the tiny little bunny that I thought was abandoned, and I pretended I was only taking care of overnight, and that grew to a year, so I learned at a young age to do rescue. In the past, I have rescued, one of the funniest ones was a pregnant boa constrictor. I said, I had no idea the snake was pregnant, how would I know? I've rescued peacocks. One year I did possum rescue. Possums are the most wonderful creatures in the world. But they're not for pets, so they had to be released to the wild. But I have 2 rescued horses, I have a wild Mustang, and then I have 3 rescued burros, and I have a pig. Right now I'm kind of low on my farm animals. I've done a lot of adoptions. So I have a pig named Francis Bacon, and I have a little lamb named Fred Astaire, and I have a bunch of hens who are wonderful egg layers, and one really nasty rooster. It's a lot of work, but the work doesn't really bother me. I can do the work, and I think it's the only time in my life I've ever understood the saying, if you do what you love, it's not work. That's very true. The hard part is, obviously, if somebody's sick. I've been through a lot of medical things, and I've learned a lot of medical procedures. Now I have a vet who's wonderfully helpful and has taught me a lot. The hardest thing is dealing with a sick baby and wondering why something would be born to just die 2 weeks later. It's very hard. Obviously, it's a huge financial investment, but that I don't mind either. I have everything I want in my life, so my money can go to critters. Sometimes I think I am so exhausted, but then I get another call for another litter of 11 2-day-old puppies, and I'm going to say no, let them die in the canyon. Mother died when I was really young, and she was also the animal lover in the family. And she was the one, when I would bring home the critter, she would say, 1 bowl of milk and that cat's out of here. Well, that, of course, never happened. And I think since she died when she was so young, so much younger than I am now, that I do this in part for her. And I think she loved these animals. And again, once they're born, we have to take care of them. I don't believe in breeding or buying anything. Never. Never. But if they're here, we have to take care of them. And who wouldn't love this?